welcome to Slightly Inaccurate History. We've not had one of these for a little while. And my subject today, some might say is a work of fiction. I don't know. I mean, there's no smoke without fire, is there? So there may be some truth in this. I don't know. But I've had a request to bring back Slightly Inaccurate History, and the topic suggested was Greek goddesses. So I've had a little look, done a little bit of research, and I'm going to bring you some of the tea on Hera. I don't know if you would pronounce it Hera. I may well pronounce it and alternate between Hera and Hera. I don't know. Potato. Anyway, buckle up, because my goodness me, this one's a toxic lady. I've also, slight disclaimer, I may end up getting a bit foul-mouthed, because basically, like, this bitch is cray. So my usual wholesome content, this may be peppered with F words. So Hera, right? She is the queen of all the gods and goddesses. And she married Zeus, who happens to be her brother. Now, in all the stories, that's just like a side note. No one seems bothered on that. Like, okay, well, that's a bit problematic, but there we are. So she's married to her brother Zeus and has children with him and stuff. But Zeus, being Zeus, you might have heard of Zeus. He's like the top god. Or he must have women throwing themselves at him, mustn't he? Come off it, like Zeus. So, and he does not bat them away, let's just say. So he has lots of other little relationships. Now, Hera is absolutely driven out of her mind with jealousy about Zeus and his philandering ways. She takes it out on the children, though, and the other women, which, like, maybe they didn't know. Because I wouldn't personally take on Hera if I knew her capabilities, honestly. Anyway, so she gets a particular beef with, well, all of Zeus's other children. In particular, this one called Heracles, if I'm saying that right. And basically, she was absolutely livid that he's got this baby mama pregnant with Heracles. So she thought, no, I'm not having this. I am not having this, Zeus. I've told you before. So anyway, she gets her friends who are witches. She gets these 3 witches to go and, like, interfere with the pregnancy so that she can't give birth. Incidentally, Hera is actually the goddess of a few things. Marriage was one of them. And, like, protection of childbirth, or she's some sort of goddess to do with childbirth. So you'd think that'd be a nice thing, wouldn't you? But I think she uses it for evil. Anyway, so she's the goddess of childbirth. She sends these witches to this poor pregnant lady. Must end up like Laura Pinch of Spicy. I wonder if that's what's happened to her. I wonder if witches have put a spell on her. I've gone off on a tangent. Hopefully by the time I post this, Laura Pinch of Spicy will have had that baby. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. Anyway, she sends these witches to, like, prevent the birth of the child. In the end, they manage to, like, get around it, and they, like, fool the witches. I don't know what they do. They're probably like, oh, look, they're over there, and then they go and, like, give birth or something. So the witches are sent back away, foiled. So out comes the baby Heracles. So Hera is like, fuck's sake, what are you witches doing? So she's obviously in a bit of a piss about that. Not to be deterred, she then just thinks, right, all right then, you've come out, you've been born, I'm going to send some serpents. So she sent snakes to the baby in a little helpless little baby. Having said that, the baby is also a god called Heracles, as we've said. Heracles, hard as nails, right from day dot. Oh, my light's gone out. Right from day dot, he's like, not having it. Snakes come into his pram. Next morning, his mama finds him in the pram. He's going, la, 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 playing with 2 dead snakes. He, like, basically tough as anything, this guy. So, but she still won't, like, leave him alone. She will not let it lie. So this Heracles grows up to be a big, strong man god. Hera will not leave him alone. She will not, like, you know, let it be. She drove him mad in the end. He went insane and he actually murdered his whole family. So, yeah, whether, and I don't know if this bit, like, he then has to, after he's murdered his family, he has to then perform like 12 labours or tasks or something, because that might be a penance for killing the family, because I'd imagine there'd be some consequence of that. Anyway, so he's got to do these 12 labours, 12 different tasks. So she interferes with all of them to make them as hard as possible for him. One of which he had to fight fight in this battle. She sends, this is making me warm to her a little bit, because she's nothing if not creative. She sends one crab to go along and constantly bite his foot whilst he's fighting, to like distract him from his fight. So that all went on. He did get her back because he shot her with an arrow in the boob, but you know, that was as much as I got with that. The next one, she finds out Zeus at it again, doesn't learn his lesson. Zeus, by the way, is terrified, rightly so, of Hera, so I don't know why he's still messing about. He's then got another lady pregnant with twins, and like Hera's like, what the fuck? No chance, no, not on my watch, not happening. So she sends her mate, who's another goddess of childbirth, to go and like, you know, prevent that baby being born. She's not having them, or those babies, she's not having them. Anyway, all the other gods, I think there's 12 of them, they were like, oh, Hera, she's getting a bit out of hand, didn't she? We do really need these twins to be born safely. So they try to reason with her to no avail. And again, I'm like, oh, Hera. They basically found the most beautiful necklace that there ever was in the world and bribed Hera with it. So she was like, go on then. So she lets the twins be, and she has the beautiful necklace. The other thing is, so this is, I'm running out of time now, but there's so much to this story. Another girlfriend of Zeus called Lo, Hera turns her into a cow and ties the cow to a tree. Not content with that, she then sends a fly to go and constantly sting the cow for like to the end of days, like one fly, sting this poor cow. Zeus managed to get her out of it and like saved her and turned her back into a human, I think. And then the other thing was a golden apple. There was this Trojan guy called, I don't know, let's just call him Phil. I can't remember what his name was. He's a prince, and he has this prize. It's a golden apple, and on the label it's like, oh, this is to the fairest of them all. Well, Hera's obviously like, oh, that's my apple then. Unfortunately for her, there are two other that are equally as fair, because, by the way, Hera is stunning. But there's also Aphrodite, who you might have heard of because she's like famously beautiful, and Athena. Both of them are like absolutely slaying. No one could decide on who was the most beautiful. So these three goddesses tries to bribe the Trojan guy, Phil. What have I made a note? So Hera tries to bribe him with land and like all the riches. Athena tries to bribe him with wisdom and all the luck in battle and everything. And Aphrodite, she tries to bribe him with the love of the most beautiful woman in the world. Can you guess which one he picked? Predictable. Yes, so he went with the love of the most beautiful woman in the world, and Hera lost out on the golden apple. So that's basically a little roundup of the antics of the most toxic goddess I've ever heard of, Hera. Thank you so much for watching. I wonder if you're still here at 9 minutes 29. That's a world record, isn't it? Let's give you a code for my besties. If you watch this right to the end, that means you're my favourite. And if you can just put in the comments, oh, I've got to get some potatoes. Put that, oh, forgot to get me potatoes. Put potatoes on my shopping list, something like that in the comments. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Bye.